Participation trophies are handed out in the regular season, but you said no. I'll dig deeper. I'll rise like a phoenix from the ashes and show you what it takes to suck.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Are you on YouTube yet?
Yeah.
You are? Okay.
Yeah. Believe
Yeah,
me,
you
that was
guys,
heard, and that is gonna be used.
Well, I was just wondering because I was gonna open the stream for
Yeah.
chat, but you guys are something else. Like, we suck. Don't get me wrong. We've re-cemented ourselves as bad. I don't know what happened with TSM.
I want to talk shit. I really do, but I can't. The only thing that I can say is that we never lost to you.
I'm like worried now for you guys because now my take where I said like FlyQuest is just done looks really dumb.
I still don't. Well, they have to beat Cloud9 tomorrow still, and I don't think that's gonna happen.
Now it's the last day of the week. It's even better.
No, it's tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow?
Oh wait, no, you're right. You're right. Tomorrow's Immortals versus FlyQuest.
Yeah, tomorrow they play Immortals and you play NRG, so it's gonna be like an electric factory.
I'm not ready.
I am.
And NRG looks great. But then again, they always play. They play bad. They play bad against the bad teams. So there's a chance.
Yeah.
Anything technically.
I think TSM's not even gonna get upper bracket anymore, which kind of sucks. But.
Well, you think you're dropping down that far? I don't think you. I think Dignitas is worse than you guys.
Oh, 6 is upper bracket?
Yeah, 6 is upper bracket.
Oh.
Yeah, you're fine. Because I don't see Dig. Great question.
Golden Guardians and Team Liquid, we're good. We're
yeah.
good.
Yeah, you're fine. Dignitas is not going to do anything all that impressive, and you guys should be able to secure 6th, and then FlyQuest likely gets that 2% chance at beating us. And even then, there's still a clear world where, like, if we go 0-3, because I'm assuming we lose every game this week now. If we couldn't beat Dig, we're not beating anybody else. So, we go 0-3. FlyQuest likely wins tomorrow, puts them at a tie record with us. The only thing, and I mean, FlyQuest is preying on the downfall as well. That like Dignitas. Oh, we know Dig's got a 1-game lead. So literally the only thing that they could technically do is, yeah, I guess
they have to win out. You have to lose out.
They have to win out, yeah.
Which, I'm gonna be real, I don't see NRG beating you guys tomorrow. What? Only because I know they're playing good, but NRG they can get rid of CLG in brand and name, but you can't get rid of the spirit. They enjoy losing to bad teams. It's like their sexual gratification almost. Like, the way they do it, I find suspect. Because there are things they do to lose to bad teams that I'm just like, you like this. You like this too much. They almost enjoy it as a org. It's kind of nerve-wracking.
That's disgusting.
Like, I'm telling you, they're gonna choke. I could just feel it.
I will say this.
Sorry.
I will say this, and I'm gonna make this bold statement now, and it is what it is. I do not care what happens for the rest of the split. I want Yukino in.
Who's that? Your jungler?
He's still on contract with us. I want him in. It's time. We're not going to win it. I don't care whether you have this sense of loyalty to Closer for everything that he's done for the org. I don't care if you think that FlyQuest is still going to lose and your best chance is like to keep Closer in and try and make her like no. Put Yukino in. It's time. If there's any substitute that has ever been warranted this split across any team, Vikla was one of
Yeah.
them where I was fine with them subbing it out. I don't like that he came back in, but hey, they're winning now, so it is what it is. The substitute today for EG somewhat makes sense. It was against Immortals, that's fine. We have nothing to lose. Literally nothing to lose. Put him in. Because what I've watched now for an entire split and a half, no, entire 2 splits from closer, he's not going to be on this team next year.
No. No.
So just try out Yukino. Put him in.
And the EG one isn't all week, is it? I wasn't able to watch the video.
No, it was just yesterday or just today, and
Okay.
they didn't specifically say, but there is a chance that he plays tomorrow, or they could just go back to Armeo. We don't know. We have no. They didn't commit to anything.
Who do they play tomorrow?
EG. I think they have an easy matchup tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's
Or
Team
no.
Liquid.
They
That would
have
be
TL.
wild. Why would they leave him in?
I don't know.
I don't think Armeo was the problem. Maybe I'm wrong. But
I mean, no, everybody but JoJo Puman's the problem, if we're being completely honest.
yeah.
And like the biggest thing for them now is like if you're EG, Fate's kind of out of your own hands to a certain extent. Golden Guardians and Cloud9 have the tiebreakers up top and have a 1-game lead on you. Even if EG wins out, they don't play Golden Guardians or C9, you're hoping for an upset. But realistically, and honestly, I could see Cloud9 losing the really hot FlyQuest. I don't know if I see Golden Guardians losing to 100 Thieves, or who do they play tomorrow? Tomorrow, they play Dignitas. No. Golden Guardians is winning out the rest of the week. There's no chance.
I mean, you guys just put yourself in a tough spot, for being honest.
Yeah.
It's life. I mean, it sucks too, because it's not like, well, it would suck if FlyQuest made it for everybody else, because that is, I know we've been saying it all year, and they have like a 2% chance, right, of getting in.
Yep.
But they are still the 1/8 seed you don't want.
No. Like, out of every
Like,
team in that lower bracket, Dignitas, 100
Yeah.
Thieves, FlyQuest, or more, like, everybody in that lower, even TSM, lumping them in there. FlyQuest is the one team you do not want to play.
no.
At all. At all. You
No.
want to bear, like, if you're Cloud9, if you're Golden Guardians, you're not worried about losing to them in any way. Even, like, NRGTL, you're not really all, like, that worried. But if you don't have to deal with it, and you could just get them out of the way now, you do
Yep.
it.
Which, the big thing, like, is that they're like so good, or could be so good, that they could go on a crazy run in playoffs, and that run in playoffs saves a lot of people's jobs.
Yep.
Winning makes a lot of business people forget the bad things that happen, like playoff runs.
Yep.
Like, the Miami Heat are a good indication of that. Like, Miami Heat we're an 8th seed. People are talking about, hey, which guys need to be replaced. All of a sudden, make it to the finals,
Yep.
and what happens? Everybody's acting like Jimmy Butler is the best again.
Michael Jordan reincarnated, yeah.
Yeah, they're making jokes again. So it's like, winning can make people forget what happened all regular season and solve really every issue that Papa Smithy is probably making right now on PowerPoint to try to save his job.
Yep.
And it just would suck. I say it would suck because I'm a fan of a team. So it'd suck for
Yep.
me. It's good for the league if FlyQuest is your 8th seed.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
that means you're like a fairly competitive and well-talented team is your 8th seed. That's not a bad thing.
Nope.
But it would suck for us. Like, right now, the fact we're saying that Double Lift and Prince are fighting for 8th really isn't the worst. Like, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
For the health of the league, but
I just
yeah. I don't think we expected this to be the GOAT's way of going out.
No. Do you think Double Lift returns that they miss playoffs?
Yeah, I don't think he's done. I think he's still got it. I don't think he's the problem.
No, from what I mean, he was averaging like 12 CS a minute this game.
I don't think he returns to 100 Thieves.
No, unless 100 Thieves makes overhauls, but even then, like we've already said, we're going break even. So it's like I highly doubt he returns if that's the case.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to return to 100 Thieves, really, other than you guys, yeah, do exactly what you said, decide to actually spend money, because I don't see a world where he sticks with Busio and General Sniper. Not saying they're a bad core for the future, but I don't think he's playing for the future.
No, he's playing like he's got 2 years left, which is completely understandable.
Yeah.
People saying Busio and Quid are probably the only ones staying. Busio, I'd imagine, will likely agree to agree to a new contract, likely at that lower rate, because I'd imagine he's already on like rookie rates. He's probably not being paid like all that much, so the drop in spend from 100 Thieves is not going to be like uh, as drastic for him. Quid, I'm assuming, might still stay, given that he's on contract or 25. I'm not sure if he's still. I'm not sold on Quid. I don't know if that's like the best invest or if he's like the best player in the world, but like even that's getting a little bit ahead. Like the bigger concerns right now, in my opinion, are top jungle bot, where it's like
Yeah.
I I don't again. I'll worry about the offseason when it comes, but I want Yukino in tomorrow.
Yeah, because Quid you can at least equate to like, hey, when you're slumping top in jungle, it's gonna be tough for your first time playing mid in a pro league. Like it's just not easy. And NA right now doesn't have terrible mid talent. Like we're not really bad in mid lane. I mean
Yeah.
MNS, like Jojo, uh who's the APA, I guess, isn't
Palafox is looking
like
incredible.
crazy, but Palafox is looking good. Like you have a lot of talent. Invicla is one of our worst mids, which is kind of crazy to say. Oh, and freaking Gory.
Yeah.
How do I forget Gory? Like we have good mid talent, I think, or at least we have good enough mid talent that this is not the league that Bjergsen once just could walk through,
No.
like back in the day. So it's definitely not easy starting out here, and when your jungler just doesn't do anything like at all, it cannot be easy, and it's probably frustrating more than anything, especially with a language barrier. But and also you have to question like what is, because I don't think anybody's roster is safe, because whoever buys the TSM slot, we don't even know what their plan is. Like
Yeah. We have no
somebody
clue.
could, if it's Mr. Beast, he could just come in and decide, hey, I know I can get the capital to buy a super team, and he could build a super team. Like if it's somebody like that who's
Even
ego
that,
heavy.
even then, I don't think he does. I don't think it's smart economics to.
It's not, but you never know if somebody's gonna buy the team out of ego and say, hey, everyone's cheap right now, this is my time. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you gotta make a brand for yourself early
I
on.
can barely outspend everybody in the sense of like you don't have to really offer too much right now because the league is so cheap right now, but you can also build a super team, quote unquote, with a lot less money than you would have had to 2 years ago.
You also will have the LCK Exodus in your favor as well,
True.
because the did you see about the salary cap that's finally going
Yeah.
in? Which great for the league, but there's going to be a mass exodus of top tier talent that know they can get money elsewhere that are going to leave.
Yeah.
100%. I don't know how many, and we'll see in the off season how many that ends up being, but it would not surprise me if you see like Steve and Jack and everybody else like start throwing not a shit ton of money, but like more money than they would get in the LCK at Chovy, at like
Oh.
all the top players. Just being
I
like,
was gonna
look,
say, cause Jack, who do you upgrade to?
Diplex. You upgrade Diplex to Chovy. Or like any like
Oh,
I
you
don't
meant MNS?
or MNS. Sorry, yeah, MNS.
Yeah,
I think you upgrade there. Or if you're Steve,
I can
like
see that.
if you're Steve, I love APA, but like you sell him for the money that he's worth to a team that like really wants a resident mid laner, and you bring in.
Yeah, cause I was gonna say, like, what do you? If you're Jack, that's a tough situation. Like, I don't think you can buy, or I guess what's a good way to say it? There'd be worth or value in dumping Berserker.
Oh no, I don't think you dump Berserker. I think
Yeah,
Berserker's
I think you
safe.
could dump. You could definitely do what you said and dump MNS.
Yeah,
for a
that's
better mid.
that's the really obvious one. And like you have like Zeka, for example. He hasn't been
Yeah,
on like the only people that are exempt from the salary cap rules are those that are like have insane international success, aka the Faker rule, and people who have been with their work for 3+ years, which I think Chovy might be coming up. Or no, Chovy's only been with Gen G for what, 2 years? 2 or 3?
it's
I don't know.
probably. I
Somewhere
don't know.
he might qualify for the 3-year cap, or the cap rule. But then, even if he doesn't, like Zeka is a player that like I have my eyes on immediately. Where like
Yeah.
he's bounced around between two different teams that I could see him getting a paycheck elsewhere.
Yep.
And like I by all means I am one to push for like North American talent, but like I don't think anybody's gonna deny Zeka over
Being
that.
an
Like you,
upgrade. Yeah.
yeah,
He's an
you want a healthy mix of domestic players and imports. You don't want all imports and all, or in our case, all domestic players because then the skill floor would be a little bit too low. You want a healthy balance. You just want to make sure that the imports that you use are the right imports.
Yeah, like Golden Guardians right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say their imports greatly raise the ceiling of their native
Be-
talent. Like,
best mid jungle duo in the league right now,
yeah,
hands down, bar none.
100%. Like, there's a good chance they make another run for finals. And us saying that is pretty big, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't.
Us vouching Golden Guardians after all we've tried to stand firm on.
I just want C9 to get beat, if I'm being honest. Like not I
Yeah.
I think I still want C9 to win the overall split, but I want them to have to work for it. Like I don't want
think
this to
it's
just
good
be
for the
another
league.
like 6-0, 9-0 stomp, like they get to the stadium just 3-0, 3-0 or 3-1. Like I don't want it to be that because they're not playing great right now. And teams like Golden Guardians and NRG and Team Liquid all definitely can beat them.
It would be a very nice to see who he outplays Ven, and that be the difference.
Yeah.
Like if Golden Guardians wins, or like I know there's still a tiny chance and not a huge reason to bring him up, but like FlyQuest go on a crazy run,
Yeah.
like
Vulcan
they could do it.
establishes. Yeah.
Yeah,
have.
and EG still has time to figure things out. Like I don't think they're shot. I think Unforgiven is still really good at the game. Like
Yeah.
Unforgiven has not been the problem at all ever. So like they could put it together.
Here's my logic. If it's C9 in the finals, you want Team Liquid or NRG to face up against them because I think they're the best chance against C9. If it's if it's Golden Guardians in the finals, I think you want C9 against them. Or well, I'm trying to draw the circles. Like C9 beats Golden Guardians. Golden Guardians beats Team Liquid. Team Liquid beats Cloud9. Like that's the trio I would say right now because they just play on each other's strengths and weaknesses really, really well. And you can insert FlyQuest in for like Golden Guardians because they're a little bit more similar, and NRG in for Team Liquid because they somewhat have that ability. But I don't know.
I could see TL running through a lot of these teams in playoffs.
If they get hot, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, the way Summit is like, and just the narrative alone would be very fun to see. Like the narrative of Summit going back at C9 and being like, I'm trying to let you understand, like I am that good, and you're gonna regret getting rid of me at some point. Type deal. I know it was short lived and it's no big deal, but it would still be fun to see him try to go back at them, like, and really try to crush Fudge. That would be interesting narrative. Now, I don't know if TL can beat C9 in a full series.
I think they can. I 100% think they can. I think TL's weakness right now, without question, is top lane. Oh, Emily, please take my pizza out of the oven. I think C9's weakness right now is top lane and support. And I think
True.
TL has exactly what they need to beat them in Summit and Core JJ. Without question.
Do you think C9 is gonna move on from Fudge?
I think Soon, yeah. You can make that point. I gotta take Emily's pizza out of the oven.
Oh, you're good. I was just meaning because like what you were saying that it's looking like the way to beat them is top lane, a top laner who can get ahead, and a support who just outplays Sven, which I think C9 is going to make some differences this offseason for sure. I don't I don't see them sticking with this group unless this group makes a crazy run in at Worlds, which they could, but I don't know if they will. I could just really see that, and then yeah, TL being the team that would send them out wouldn't be the most shocking. I mean, standings are just so tight right now, though. It's like a really, really close spot. I mean, I guess it's not that close in the sense of C9 and Golden Guardians are 2 games ahead with 2 games to go. So they're gonna be 1 and 2. But EG, like, I don't know, I don't think EG is a bad 3rd seed. I don't think TL is a bad 4th seed. I think both of them could make waves.
They could. So do you think Fudge is potentially moved on by C9?
Knowing C9 and the way they are, I would say yes. Because my thing is C9 is a big Khan's hot take is really hot. Them dropping
I don't
Blabber
agree.
for
No, Blabber's
that's
never
not gonna happen.
No, that's
Blabber's
just
too good.
I'm sorry, but that's just wrong. Like
But
you could have that take all you want. It's just it's never happening and it's wrong.
it's not. But I just think C9 likes to move on from people because they want to win. At the end of the day, C9 is very big on winning. So was like TSM back in the day. So was TL. And none of those teams have ever or will ever probably have a fear of moving on from people. It's just how they are and how their owners are. They want to win really bad. And I just don't see Jack sticking with them this long, especially if he sees Fudge's ceiling again at Worlds. Like if Fudge gets pummeled again at Worlds, I think that's where he's gonna be like, yeah, we need to find a way to win top. Now I don't know what you do. I don't know where you move to in NA. Maybe Impact, but Impact isn't better than Fudge. It's not. I don't think that's the right answer. I don't know what they do.
I think they in that case they look for like an import, or they look for a resident mid and then import top again. Because they already tried that. Like that was the original LS philosophy of like putting Fudge mid, bringing in Summit top lane, and had the coaching situation not fallen apart, then maybe Summit would have had a better end of the split. But like I think that's the route you go. They look at importing top lane and then bring in like a hot resident mid laner.
SLJ said C9 JoJo. If that happens,
I forgot about that.
They will be very good, but that is one of those things where I don't know how to word this correctly, but that's a bad for the league thing.
Oh yeah, that's a Miami Heat situation.
Yeah, that's it. Like C9 JoJo, while would be cool and would be amazing, and they would win everything, and C9 fans would be ecstatic, I'm sure. That would be really bad for the league. I bet. I bet it doesn't happen.
At that point, if I'm all 9 other team owners, I'm coming in a room, and I'm just saying, look, let's flip a coin. Whoever it lands on is the super team that we make to combat against C9.
Yeah.
But we gotta have somebody, and everybody else just has to bite the bullet and just be like, okay, look, I'll give you this. Let's assemble this together. Here's the deal: you give us 5% of earnings or whatever. Like you give us a cut of your revenue share, and then like we'll all agree like this is like all fuck C9 hype train for a year, okay? And we all work together to take down this demon that would be C9.
Yeah.
In that case, I kind of like where Khan's going. River would be my jungler. Top lane would be
You're getting rid of Blabber for River?
Blabber's on C9. I'm talking about the team to beat C9.
Well, we're saying C9 JoJo though.
Yeah, JoJo, Blabber, Impact.
Oh, okay.
Whoever they like.
You say okay. I see what you're doing. My bad.
Yeah, so I'm saying to combat them, I think River is currently the best jungler in the LCS by a wide margin.
Hmm.
So I would say him. Top lane, it would really help if we had like a resident top laner that could keep up with the imports. But I don't think we do at the moment. Maybe you put Fudge on there for like his revenge arc for a year to like hold it over. But then mid, I don't know. You take it.
I know what you do. I got you.
Okay, go ahead.
Vulcan DL bottom lane.
Ooh.
That's a good bottom lane, I feel
Yeah, it is.
like.
That's a very good bottom lane.
And that's resident. Then mid or top river jungle, like you said. He's still an import, right? So top or mid, you have to go in-house. So you would have Vulcan DL. Mid has to be a resident. So APA, Insanity. I'm thinking of all the residents.
Palafox.
JoJo's already over there. Palafox.
I think Palafox could be good.
Palafox could be.
We've never seen Palafox on that caliber of a
really
team.
Good team.
I feel like that would have to be the case.
River there. Maybe top lane. Could you get a better?
It's tough.
Top lane. You would try to buy you guys out for sniper.
I know. That's why I was saying you go Fudge.
No tenacity. Dude, I feel like you could take tenacity and be fine. He was doing great until we
neutered him.
Yeah, until you guys just got rid of him. I could see tenacity filling in pretty nice there. And then mid lane, you spend real big. And that's where you get that Chovy type that you were talking about. Or Zika. Or Zika. Whatever his name is. Zeka?
Yeah, Zeka. I think
Zeka, Chovy, mid.
Off.
River, jungle. Tenacity top. I think Tenacity is the best homegrown player between mid lane and top lane.
Yeah, and that's why I said you give him Fudge for. I think you give Fudge a split to hold it over to see if Sniper or Tenacity are like there, and then you like drop them in mid summer split, make the change if it doesn't work, and be like, okay, now it's time.
Also, C9's getting rid of Fudge, aren't they, in this scenario?
Yeah.
So that's why don't we just take Fudge on our super team?
Because I'm not sold that Fudge can do it.
I guess. But I think Tenacity would be more fun. And then bottom lane, you could stick with DL, or you could do Core JJ with him instead of Vulcan. Take your pick, because they're both residents now.
Yeah. And I want to respond to this comment in chat, because I think this is a really important part. Rohan said, I hope we never get those kind of imports again. They're never worth it. It's worth it if we're not stupidly overpaying them. And the difference between the reason why we're considering it now is because the context is different. We're no longer paying millions upon millions of dollars because LCK teams are overspending on their own players as well. The LCK is capped, and you literally can't you cannot spend over a certain amount for any player on any team. So top tier players that can go international 100 can get better paychecks than they would in the LCK without it being that groundbreaking salary that screwed us in the LCS. Without question. So I think there is a world where top players like that can come to North America or Europe or even China for that matter for more pay than they would get for the LCS. And that doesn't... Yeah, China does have a cap as well.
Yep. Also,
North America and Europe are literally the only two. I forgot that China had a cap. So North America and Europe are the only two.
Something people are forgetting is that Bo's just floating around in Europe right now and does not like Europe. And I think Bo's really good. I think Vitality screwed him up.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing, but I'm not willing to take that chance. Personally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not.
Fair enough. I mean, I was just throwing him out there.
No, I don't blame you for throwing his name out there.
But I think we just built the best team you could, realistically, with the tools we have.
Yeah.
I think that is the best team we could build to combat that C9 Giga Chad team. I mean, if JoJo goes there, that's like back when Doublelift went to TSM from CLG type.
Yeah.
Change the league.
that JoJo has the chance, and the thing is, like, JoJo doesn't give a shit either. Like, JoJo's not the type of player that's gonna care about like legacy of like, you know, staying with the same team or like JoJo just wants to like kick ass and chill and doesn't give a shit about anything else. And because of that, it's like this it is this canon of like I could very easily see a world where he goes to C9. Very easily.
And he'll go wherever they'll pay him enough to pay his Crocs fines.
Yep.
Whoever has the money to keep paying his Crocs fines.
Yep.
That had to be the dumbest thing I heard. I know this is off topic,
Oh, man.
but I just remembered this too, and I didn't bring it up earlier, and I meant to. Can we talk about how funny that segment was?
Yeah, with Cutie.
That they set up with Cutie and Jensen because they thought Double Lift was gonna win.
It was. I saw some people getting triggered in the replies on Twitter. It's like, man, y'all just get pissed about anything. That was hilarious.
That was
And
so funny.
It was so good. I loved every single bit of it.
And Jensen might have been one of the most perfect people to chuck in there.
Yep.
Because he was just the whole time being like, so we're gonna draw a goat for me, right? And she's like, yeah, you're my favorite Danish mid laner. And he's like, oh, am I? And he's like, totally not Björk, and then starts drawing it. I was like...
Oh, man. Cutie,
that was a good one.
Dude, Cutie just brings out the best of the LCS broadcast. I swear to God. She's just she is a natural born entertainer. And it is like she has not missed on a segment yet in the LCS, in my opinion. Like, everything that they've done with her has been just phenomenal. Sure, there were some kinks early on, but like, I loved every bit of it.
They are a power couple. Like, I don't know how those two can
her and Love. Her and Love. Yeah. Oh, it's insane.
It's like, I don't even know, man. They're basically holding up esports.
Oh, dude, they're holding up. They're holding up content in general. Like, I swear, the thing that scares me is like, I feel bad saying this, but I get this. The parallels are very similar. I just know that they're better people, so I'm not worried about like I have full faith that Cutie and Lud will like last forever. It's giving David Dobrik and Liza Koshy early on vibes.
Yeah.
Where it's just like this powerhouse couple that just like runs the internet.
No, really, that's a good. Wow, that is a really good.
I know, but like, it's a bad omen because David Dobrik turned out to be kind of a piece of shit, and then Liza is just. I mean, Liza's great and doing her own thing. To my knowledge, I don't think I've heard anything bad about her, but it's like they care about making good content that's fun, that's interactive for their viewers, and they're just genuinely good people, and like they're. Like, everybody they're the two people that you would want to be the faces of content creation, both in gaming and outside of that.
Yep. Because I was watching the Apex tourney, and I was like, dude, these guys have like got it held down on their own ends of the world. And I was looking at like League, and I'm thinking like, man, we need to get like, I don't know what it is, but maybe having more international events will be good for us, because LCS is in such a tough spot right now. I think it'll be good getting more tourneys where there's higher viewership, so we can just feel relieved more often. Like, right now, it feels like kind of tense watching LCS, because you just can't get the numbers out of your head, I feel like, the whole time you're watching it.
Yeah, it's impossible to not. I was checking that earlier today. It was like, you don't want to pay attention to it, but you have to. Like, it's just naturally built in.
I mean, yeah, you literally do. Like, it's like watching your home sports team. you're watching their home attendance, because whenever there's rumors about them leaving, because you're sitting there like, oh man, are they really gonna do this? Like, is this gonna happen? Like, that's just how it is. And it's rough. It's really rough right now.
Yep.
I don't know. But Cutie gives me a lot of hope. Her segments, I think, add a lot that are really good. She kind of shows the power that LCS could be at in general.
Yep.
And she does bring like that segment with Jensen was getting me more like back in love with Jensen again than I've been in love with him in a long time, I'd say. Like I was like, man, cuz I mean Jensen was the OG like good for the league, like probably saved the league by coming in and actually being Bjerg's equal.
Yeah.
Like we needed that. The whole league needed that really bad. So,
So in the last 15 minutes, I do want to spend some time on this. It was talked about on broadcast earlier on in the day, and I think it's worth mentioning now. MVP. Where are you feeling right now?
I mean, it's kind of getting to the point where we were pretty big on Berserker, and I still am.
I'm not.
But then River and Stixay started looking like really, really, really good. And I'm kind of leaning towards the Golden Guardians player now.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, they're just so good right now. Like, I think River edges out Stixay for me, and then Berserker edges out Stixay as well.
I'm looking up the stats now because I have yet to pull up the stats this entire split, and just wanted to see if JoJo truly was like as good as people were making him out to be, and he 100% is.
Oh,
And
JoJo's really good.
River is definitely for me right now. It's a 3-horse race between JoJo, River, and I would probably, I'll say 4-horse race. JoJo, River, Summit, and Blabber.
Okay. I mean, I agree with that. I think that's a good top 4.
I just think like I keep coming back to my definition of what is MVP. It is by far like the standout, most valuable player. Like when you look at a role, you think of this player. When you look at this team, you think of this player. If they win, it's by him. If they're losing, it's because the other team shut down this player. And the only way that Evil Geniuses has lost is because every team has been just pile driving resources in the mid, and nobody else has been stepping up. And despite
Very
that,
true.
JoJo still has the best stats of any mid laner in the LCS. In lane, and then obviously in team fights, he's been cleaning up fairly well beyond that. His KDA is not the highest. MNS is the highest. Palafox and Gory are above him. But his kill participation's higher than any of them. His first blood percentage is tied with Gory and MNS for the top. Gold difference at 10 minutes, he's up 200 on the closest mid laner. CSD at 10 minutes, he's up 8 on the closest mid laner to him.
Yeah.
Damage per minute, he flattens out a little bit towards the end. Damage percentage, he's the highest percentage of damage of anybody of any mid laner on any team barring Quid. Like that to me is like Christian McCaffrey level. Like even if EG did slide and JoJo's performing this well, like that's.
Yeah, I just feel like River deserves it in some way to me, just because of how good he's been playing this split. I know like stats in jungle aren't as interesting because of the context of a jungler. It's harder for them to get CSD stats, right? Because they could be playing a tank, another guy could be playing whatever. But River like finishes the season against Dig and 100 Thieves, and JoJo finishes it against TL and TSM. So I think Rivers is a little easier to cement his spot, but if EG does close out the season,
Yeah,
like with 2 wins in a row and tie breaks or something, and then has to go and he just hard curb stomps, I think he also has, I would say, the same type of road to cement himself.
Yeah.
Rivers just happens to be easier.
It's easier and it's not at the same time. Because if Cloud9 and Golden Guardians win out, my rule is that tiebreakers do count. That is part of the regular season, and given the condensed nature of things, like that tiebreaker over Blabber, like him cementing himself as the top jungler in the league, would make a difference to me.
Yeah. Yeah, because SLJ said Blabber's higher at DPM, CS per minute, and kills assists.
Yeah, I've got the stats up. I'm seeing that too. But like at the end of the day, who's affecting more lanes?
Yeah, it's just I don't know what it is. Maybe I watch C9 games more biased, but I just like watch River and I'm like, it feels like he is the narrative when
Yeah.
Golden Guardians is playing.
At least
And
early, because then who he takes over in like mid to late game,
true,
like
true.
shot calling moments.
And it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, I think he has a good chance if they get first, he could get it. But you have sold me like pretty hard on JoJo. Like there is a real world where JoJo just gets it because he's so good. Like he
Yeah.
is having an insane split. And when you look at the team he has, like they really sold all the good parts, brought in, probably upgraded at ADC if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Unforgiven should never have been in academy. But I digress.
Support, not an upgrade.
Yeah.
If we're being honest to start.
Down. Jungle down.
Mid lane. That's JoJo.
Yeah.
Top lane
jungle,
Revenge.
They downgraded. Top lane they downgraded. And they're winning more. Like that's kind of insane.
It just comes back to this, like, I think Jat said it on broadcast, where like C9 used to always have that effect of where like the team is really good around you, and that always helps. Like that, it takes away from your MVP status, but like it's good to be on like a solid core team where everybody's contributing, everybody has their perks where they stand out in certain moments and where they don't in others. And that's just Golden Guardians and Cloud9 right now. Both teams are just, for the most part, like Golden Guardians is a much more polished like 5-man squad of like them being closer to like 20% contribution across the board. Cloud9 is a little bit more skewed towards like Blabber and Berserker. But like EG, you look at EG and it's JoJo by a wide margin. And it's not even close.
And like, what is their damage share?
Damage share, I think. Let me. Damage share on EG. $30.3% JoJo, 26% Unforgiven, 13% Armeo, 23% Revenge. So in order, JoJo at 30, Unforgiven 26, Revenge 23, Armeo 13.
It's pretty high. Like, that's really high. Yeah. So I don't really know what you do there. Like, he's just playing insanely good. And he's... yeah.
I mean, I just think it comes down to your definition of what is MVP. If MVP is one of the best players on the best teams, then yeah, it's probably Blabber or River, most likely River. If MVP is the player that single-handedly changes your team, and is single-handedly the reason that you are winning most of your games, that if you remove them and replace them with somebody slightly inferior, would the team function as well? I think Golden Guardians would hold up better if you replaced River with, you know, Armeo than EG would do replacing JoJo with Gory.
Yeah.
Who's the reverse MVP? I don't think we have to answer that. I think we all know who's the reverse MVP of the LCS right now. And I don't want to dogpile on them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's either your boy or the Immortals or roster.
Well, no, I think Treats might get it actually.
Yeah, the whole
Treats has
Immortals
been
roster is not
horrible.
very fun to watch. IMO. They are not the most fun.
It just makes me happy that Treats and all his shit talk on co-stream. Uh, how's that working out for you, buddy? How's all that shit talk doing?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Immortals needs to just. I don't know what they do, man. When's the last time they even had a Dig type of split that Dig's having right now? Like,
I'll tell you what you need to do if you're Immortals, because this will be the final bit that we talk about. You need to pray to God that Riot Games decides that they're gonna follow Activision Blizzard in the same way that when Activision decided, you know what, we're gonna franchise the Overwatch League and we're gonna franchise Call of Duty. Riot said, you know what, we're gonna franchise League of Legends. Activision Blizzard's deciding, you know what, we're gonna give teams $6 million and you can leave the league and we're gonna close up shop. Immortals needs to hope that Riot Games decides to offer $6 million for an LCS spot so that they can get the fuck out.
I mean, isn't TSM though allegedly selling it for like market value, basically?
Yeah.
Like
so
what they bought it for?
Yeah. Which obviously they'll get. But like the thing is, like, for the Overwatch League, say somebody like TSM was selling their spot for $20 million, and Activision puts out there in their press statement, yeah, we're going to be giving teams $6 million for the spot. If I'm an investor looking at it, it's like, why the fuck am I paying you 20? I'm going to pay 6, maybe 5.
Yep.
No, not 5. You'll have to offer a tiny bit more, like 7. If you wanted that bad, 7.
I mean, if it's that big of a value decrease, though, I don't even know if TSM would sell. Like, I don't see them being willing to take that kind of loss.
It depends. How badly does Reggie want to win Worlds?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cheaper for him to lobby them to change the import rule at that point.
Yeah. Josh brings up a great question. Do you think $6 million, if you're put yourself in an LCS team's shoes, not Immortals or like not the bottom teams, put yourself in, say, 100 Thieves shoes. Riot Games offers you $6 million to get out of the LCS. Do you leave?
Right now?
Yep.
How much did 100 Thieves pay to get in? 20?
10, like
10.
everybody else.
10, right? Was the buy-in
Yep.
for League? It was 20 for Overwatch, though?
Yeah, it was 20 million minimum, but teams bought into up to $50 million. Robert Kraft notably like bought in for somewhere close to there.
Why?
I don't know. That was the question I had from the beginning. Was there's no.
But
way
it was
that's
10
working.
for League.
It was 10 for League, or 13.
I'd maybe take 6, but I don't know. 40% like loss is pretty huge. When you're talking in the millions.
I don't think you take it. I
wouldn't
don't
take
think that's
40%
smart.
loss.
You can run break even in the LCS
Yeah.
right now. Why would you ever take $6 million to get out? I think that's a piss poor decision. In any, if you can sell for 20 million, 30 million, like, you know, double your investment that you had in it and make some money off of it, sure, maybe you look at selling, see what your market value is. But if you're really just getting 6 when you can run it break even and still be in the league, why? Why would you get out?
You would.
Exactly. You'd stay. Because League
Yeah.
is still a good investment. There's no
Like,
future of the LCS right now. There is. You are still playing in front of 100,000 people that will still watch your product, that you're marketing to, that you can leverage for other things. There's still value to be had there. And anybody saying that there's not, you have given up on esports entirely then. I refuse to believe that. If you want to just know the state of the industry, I get people are doom and gloom right now. Go look at MLG Puckett, or I think it's just Puckett now on Twitter, and Adam
Yeah.
Apicella. Go look at the two of them. Read everything that they're saying today. And if you walk away from that still pessimistic, then you're just down on esports. And quite frankly, I think you need to take a break from it. If I'm being honest, because
I mean, it's
you cannot expect esports to succeed if the only thing that you're going to do is just be negative that this isn't going to work or nothing's worth its value.
yeah,
You're
because I don't
spending
really
your
see.
Oh god, sorry.
I was just meaning I don't see that it's like dead. I don't think LCS is completely dead. I think Riot hit a slump because they weren't prepared for how big they were gonna be after COVID, and they didn't handle it perfectly well. But like a lot of places hit slumps and then come out and end up looking really, really good. I mean, I think because I mean, you look at Call of Duty League, like I thought Call of Duty League was gonna just go away for a minute there. The way it was looking, Call of Duty was holding really bad viewership numbers. The game was being hated on a ton, and then boom, they just found a way to persevere through it, pop out, and now they're getting huge viewer accounts again
Yeah.
and looking super good.
Esports 100% has a future.
Yep.
Like 100% has a good future. It's just a matter of getting back to that 2016 sustainable level and going from there. You have to be able to run break even, which LCS teams can do, and then you work on growing from there. The LCS has a future, 100%, and we can grow from there. The game's not dead. You just have to find a way, and as so long as you don't drop to 0 viewers, there's always a chance because the international events exist, and you can find a way to make it work. You just have to find your angle in and go from there.
Yeah, and it's more of like there's a lot of international competitions that are still going really big. One of the only regions that's actually decreasing in player population right now is China, and that was because of a law.
Yeah.
That wasn't because the player population declined. They made a law that like under 17-year-olds couldn't play anymore after a certain time. So obviously they started playing less video games until they're older. But I don't think that like all of them are just completely done. And then I don't know. Thinking about like Brazil is getting bigger. Brazil's figured it out. Like NA has time to figure it out. I don't think NA is dead. I think NA can very well fix the game. They're just gonna have to have a player who really inspires people again, really. I mean, Danny was the last thing we had that was really making people want to watch.
I want to address SLJ's comment. It kind of diverts from what you're saying, but is somewhat related. He said the CDL is literally about to move to YouTube, that they fired multiple CDL broadcast people, and that 100 Thieves literally lost 2.5 million on a roster that they won chance with. One, that's on 100 Thieves. And they literally talked about that in their podcast, that they were willing to pay, knowing that they were probably going to lose that money on it, to try and make a name for themselves and get that title. That's how you make a name for yourself, because then you can fall back during those times where you're saving money and you still have a brand that's already been established, and you've given that high, you get back down to the low, and you're just building people back up for that high, and you're waiting for the market to correct itself to get on that path. As for the YouTube and them firing multiple broadcast staff, we don't know what the Call of Duty product is going to look like next year on the esports front, but I can tell you this: whenever Optic and Toronto, or Optic and FaZe, or Optic and Thieves start playing, it doesn't matter who's talking over it. It doesn't matter where it's being streamed. There will be hundreds of thousands of people watching it. Because the Call of Duty fan base is the Call of Duty esports fan base is diehard loyal to that game and their players and their teams and the growth of the scene overall. It is something that League players will never, never, ever know, in my opinion. At least not many North American esports fans. Or not many North American League fans will not know like that level. There's so many people that just because the LCS would stop being on Twitch, they'd stop watching, period. like a
Mhm.
much larger percentage than the percentage that you're going to lose on YouTube. So you just got to give it time. Like I know it sucks that the wrong hands are controlling the strings in esports, but I'm just saying, as a optic fan who's been through this and working in corporate America, working in Fortune 500, and seeing like many examples of this over time, eventually, when those big names buy something for the name and value that it was, but they stray away from what that thing was, and they lose all their value and they lose all their money, eventually they want to sell, they want to get rid of it. And guess who comes back and takes control of it? The people that loved it in the first place and were there. Optic
Yep.
Gaming literally sold to people that gave zero shits about like the fundamental core values of what the green wall was. They stopped doing the things that were necessary to keep Optic what it was. Hex then had the chance to buy it back. He did, and look where they are now. You just have to have that continuous faith that eventually things will work out. At the end of the day, all things happen for a reason. The bad things and the good. And in this case, yes, a large amount of money came into esports via the LCS, the CDL, the Overwatch League, and yes, they took control of it, and quite frankly, did not do a good job and nearly ruined it, or in Overwatch's case, literally ruined it.
Mm.
But if there's enough people that truly love Overwatch esports over anything else, when the Overwatch League is gone, and if Activision Blizzard is not a dick and allows that scene to continue to play esports on their own regards, then hey, it will come back and it will work its way into its own sustainable ecosystem. Same thing for LCS. If the LCS ever truly does become like that unsustainable point where Riot just says, you know what, screw it, we're done with it, then eventually it'll work its way to where Riot stops, but they probably allow some tournaments to go on because it's good marketing for the game. Why would they stop that? And then it eventually grows into its own grassroots thing.
Yeah, and you gotta remember too, we haven't, no offense to the people that have been in charge of the league lately, but we haven't had that one breakthrough commissioner yet who really puts the league in a crazy good place.
Yeah.
You have to wait for that too. That comes with some patience. Now, there is, like you said, everything happens for a reason. Some that may never come, but we don't even know who the next CEO of the league is.
Yep.
So to be hating on the future without even knowing who, if it could be a good person or not, is kind of pointless. I mean, granted, do we know what power level they'll have? We don't know. We have to hope it's somebody who can get a little more pull than the last one was able to. But I don't think the league will be in a terrible spot in the next few years. I think they'll be able to figure it out. And like you said, if it really does get that bad, people who care about the league will come.
Yep. And
I mean,
as long as you don't have those people that just sit there and just are salty over the fact of like, this is what it could have been, this is what it once was, basically like the MAGA thinking of like, we have to make this great again. It's like, no, just, it is what it is. Only worry about the things that you can control. That is it. Beyond that, like, we have no control over who's in charge at Riot. We have no control over anything else like that. The only thing that we can do is just try and make the best and most entertaining product from a fan perspective from our side.
mm-hmm. And
Call of Duty's been
luckily,
getting... Oh, God. Sorry.
oh, I was saying, luckily, some of the owners of teams that I don't think cared about the league lately are looking to move on at least or sell. So the next few years should get in actually people who are pretty passionate about the product.
Yep. Especially as the price drops and investors look to get out and sponsors look to get out. You're about to find out who really likes this and who's in it for the money.
Yep.
But it is 10:50. We have guests coming over, so I don't want to push this ultimately too long past this. Anything else you want to chat about? Because this will be the last time we talk publicly on stream before whatever happens to 100 Thieves happens to 100 Thieves.
Yeah. Really just no. I can't think of anything I really care about. Like I think LCS is in a good spot. I mean, I'm waiting for the next 2 days. Like
Yeah,
the next 2 days are so big.
I know.
Gorilla Gang is looking good on Broken Blade. So
God,
I think I think
G2's
he's
just too
back.
good. I hate it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Worlds. I'm so excited. I can't help it. Every time this part of the year comes, I just get super excited for it.
E looks like they might make noise again.
No, G2 looks like they might make noise again.
True.
They're the only team.
True. G2's kind of looking raw. Uh, I think LCS is actually looking deeper than it's ever been, but
Agreed.
I don't know how far that means we'll get.
That's irrelevant. I'm like the NA
Yeah.
experience at Worlds is what it is. I'm just excited for Worlds itself, and then the LCS like playoffs itself being just like this deep pulled run. It's gonna be great. I cannot
Yeah, I
wait.
think we're in a good spot to have like a team. If there was a year where you had to look at all the rosters we're setting and be like, hey, have we sent people that if they get in the right position or quote unquote lucky spot, can they make a run? I think we have a lot of teams that could do that, could make the most of their situation.
Heavily agree.
And that's pretty exciting because we don't always have that.
No, we do not.
And this year it looks like we do. We have a lot of teams that seem like very good at the game. I mean, Golden Guardians has two guys who have one's made an MSI finals, one's made a semis at Worlds, so
Yep.
I'm pretty happy with what product we're putting out right now.
Same. Also, don't forget everybody, the Soul Fighter event kicks off tomorrow in League of Legends. Be sure to buy your pass and enjoy it.
True.
All right, that's it for us. We will catch you later. Hope y'all enjoyed. Enjoy LCS regular season this week, and we'll talk more before playoffs kick off next week. Adios.
Adios.